All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. It is December 18th, 2025. And hopefully you checked out the alert, which was earlier. And the alert was a little bit before. A lot of some interesting things have been happening through these incidents that have gone on at Brown University and at MIT. People thought that they were different or they were separate, but now there is a prevailing belief that these are not separate. These are actually possibly connected to each other, with the person that has unalived himself in a storage unit up there in the Northeast, in the Boston area. So we're going to go through the information and take you on through it. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. They take your 401k and your IRA, and they turn it into gold and silver using your retirement funds in a proper and legal way. So if you would like to consider that, this is a great company to do so. So shalom to Tristan Colby, shalom to Scrappy and Bad Bobber and OVP. Tenna, just good to see you. So we're not going to get real long-winded. I got a big day. I'm tired, folks. I'm not gonna lie. I know I've been real exciting lately, but I got to keep things going and everything else with all the holiday stuff. But we have been getting our butts kicked with all of this moving and everything else. It's starting to wear on me. So I know it'll all be worth it in the end. I can't wait to get into our new digs and be able to walk around. And I mean, oh my God, it's 10 acres. I mean, it's going to be awesome. But right now we're getting pushed. We're 4 houses in 2 months. So you do the math. And one of which was not really a house, it was a garage. That I could only do for about a couple weeks. So that's why we moved into this place. So, but things are moving. They're moving in the right direction. And we will tell you all about it when we do. And I look forward to being able to share things out there with you. And also, we're bringing back the super secret for those that know. So if you remember, so go check that out. I'll be doing more on there too. I won't give it away what I said over there. If you want to hear what we got going on, going over to there for those that know, and check it out. So I'm going to start to use that much more. I have a lot of plans. This whole thing with my life. My wife said it today. About a month ago, we sold our house. And, it feels like it was a year ago. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's all going to be good, though. It's all going to be good. So we got out of our regular old debt, and we're going to have a mortgage here again, which I don't like. But actually, we got the rate today, and it's sub 6%. Super stoked. So we'll see. We'll tell you more about that coming up. Let's get you started on your crisis report for December 18th, 2025. Brown and MIT slayings tied. Is that what's going on? Let's figure it out. Spanish police carry out a raid at the CRESA state-funded laboratory near Barcelona as part of an investigation into the origin of the recent African swine fever outbreak. Interesting. California startup Nautilus announces that Indian carrier SpiceJet, perfect name, will order up to 100 of its new airliner called Horizon, triangle-shaped blended wing body aircraft, replaces the traditional tube and wing design with launch plan for 2030. So honestly looks like some of the newer drones that have been used in Eastern Europe, if you will. White House announces that the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts will unanimously be renamed to the Trump Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Look forward to that being changed back in 3 years when a Democrat takes over as president. Actually, I don't. I don't know. There's so many other things. Like, we don't need the Trump name on everything. Just be a good president and do good things and help people out and solve problems. That's all I want from you. Okay. I don't need your name on everything, please. It looks arrogant. It's egotistical, and people don't like it. Even your supporters, to be honest with you. So hopefully he will learn. Trump signs an executive order reclassifying marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug, relaxing regulations. Honestly, I don't have a problem with this. As a person that used to, unfortunately, use this crap, and it is crap, and then got sober, it's going to have some unintended consequences and everything else, but hopefully, it'll take some of the violence out of things and bring back an element of safety and, use it for funding, maybe use it for like education, everything. I mean, fact is, folks, is that if people want to do it, and they can either go get it from a place like, a registered legal zone, or they can go down to some, flop house and worry about getting accosted on the front lawn. Law enforcement is investigating a connection between the mass shooting at Brown University and the killing of the MIT professor. Authorities confirm NASCAR legend, this is sad, Craig Biffle, along with his family, have died in a private jet crash in North Carolina. There was a crash in Statesville, North Carolina. I've been there many times. And, he died. Whole family died. Terrible. TikTok has signed a deal. It's going to sell its U.S. entity to a joint venture controlled by American investors. Agreement is set to close on January 22nd. Trump's DOJ is working around the clock to redact thousands of pages from the Epstein files before the legally required release Friday. Australia has launched a gun buyback scheme following the Bondi Beach shooting because that's going to fix everything, folks, okay? They're going to get those guns back, and everything's just going to be right as rain, because that's the best way to do it. Don't worry about anything of your laws or who you let into the country. No, just buy back those guns. And also, that all the people that are thinking about doing that crap, like the people that were caught today in the Liverpool area of Sydney, they're going to be like, you know what? I want that deal. I want to go and sell my weapon for 2/3 of what it's actually worth. Florida school locked down after AI flagged a clarinet as a gun. You're doing great, AI. Brown University suspect has been identified as Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, a 48-year-old former Brown University student and Portuguese national from Miami, Florida. Providence police say Claudio Valente acted alone, and there is no anti-Semitism component to the attack. FBI believe that the MIT nuclear scientist murdered in Boston and the Brown University shooter went to school together in Lisbon, Portugal. So they it totally explains why he just randomly started killing people in Brown University. Jury finds the Wisconsin judge guilty of obstruction for helping an illegal immigrant to evade federal agents. Multiple people reportedly dead after a plane crash in Statesville, North Carolina. That is the Craig Biffle crash that killed his family and him. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services plans to overhaul childhood GBT schedule to recommend fewer of those shots. Trump admin originally planned to go after the drug cartels, but pivoted to Venezuela from Mexico. According to current former officials, a trio of legal documents and directives have subsequently authorized an unorthodox lethal campaign. Trump, Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller, and other senior officials were looking for a fight. First months of the administration, Miller, the architect of the Trump's anti-immigration and border policies, team discussed starting a new war on drugs by striking cartels and alleged traffickers in Mexico, according to one current and former U.S. official. When you hope and wait and something to develop that it doesn't, you start looking to countries south of Mexico. Current official who, like 9 other interviewed for the story, spoke on the condition of anonymity because of the matter's sensitivity. With the breaking news to push the reduce federal marijuana restrictions, what's the impact on fertility? Studies have found that cannabis used reduce sperm counts and motility in men and lowered the ability to conceive in women. For men in 2025, the study found weed use significantly reduced sperm counts, lowered motility, and was associated with much worse sperm morphology. Effects were even worse for smoking, which has long been known as a negative for fertility. For women, the study found that cannabis users were 41% less likely to conceive each monthly cycle than non-users. Other studies reported lower egg quality and higher miscarriage rates with marijuana use. Although there is some variation in the results of different studies, the broad consensus seems to be that cannabis use disrupts reproduction in a range of ways for both men and women. And we know that. So, as a time that we need to have our TFRs being much better in replacement and having people have children, because we're going to crest in 2050, putting this out there is possibly going to be harmful for that, at least that initiative. Reporter, will you be seeking any authorization from Congress for any land attacks on cartels in Venezuela? Trump says, I don't have to tell them, but I would not mind at all. I just hope that it would not leak it. They are politicians and they leak like a sieve or sieve. Yesterday, the U.S. conducted its 26th strike in Southcom, 15th in the Eastern Pacific. Since the campaign began in early September, there have been no strike operations in the Caribbean since the 10th of November. Kill count stands at 99. Trump has signed an executive order committing the United States to return to the moon by 2028, establish components of a lunar outpost by 2030, and lay the groundwork for a future mission to Mars. Chinese VLCC tanker carrying 1.8 million barrels of Venezuelan high-grade Mary 16 crude has departed from Jose Terminal, Venezuela, towards China. Shadow vessel is receiving an escort by the Venezuelan Army or Navy. That could be a problem. Reddit user who posted 2 days ago identified a gray rental Nissan Sentra believed to be linked to the Brown University shooter. Description matches the suspect vehicles now believed to be in Salem, New Hampshire, where the FBI is surrounding an extra space storage unit connected to the case. Potato Festival. Farmers and protesters have thrown potatoes during protests against the EU Mercosur agreement in Belgium. Farmers threw potatoes at police, large-scale protest against the economic agreement between the European Union and Mercosur, the EU-like economic bloc in South America led by Brazil and Argentina, in Brussels, Belgium, Thursday today. During the demonstrations, farmers dumped potatoes in the streets and several people approached to pick up the food because everybody's broke. Smoke bombs were also thrown at the officers. Police responded with high-pressure water jets aimed at protesters closest to the scene. Farmers accused the European Union of wanting to bankrupt food producers in the European common market by wanting to import food at cheaper prices from South America. After a Flemish farmer dumped truckloads of potatoes on the streets, Belgian residents came to pick up the potatoes along the roadsides of Brussels. Because, hey, free potatoes. As the economy of Cuba enters a full depression and the Communist Party crackdowns on reformists, a deputy from the Communist Party of Cuba admits that state-owned companies do not work and that private companies operating in the country are absolutely superior in providing services to the population. Further claims that the disaster is caused by the absolute power and control of the economy by the state. It's almost like communism doesn't friggin' work. Vivek Ramaswamy says his social media feeds are flooded with hundreds of slurs, largely from accounts he does not recognize. That's terrible, including references to pajits or street shitters, and demands to deport him back to, quote, India. Terrible. Data of millions of people in Britain is at risk of results of significant cybersecurity issues with the government's planned digital ID, multiple whistleblowers are warning. Brussels is on the edge. Outside the EU HQ, 10,000 farmers from across Europe took to the streets today against Mercosur as EU leaders met with the Council of the EU. They're destroying our food production, no farmers, no food, and that is makes for some interesting viewing. European Central Bank officials said Thursday the institution is ready to roll out a digital euro after completing technical and preparatory work confirming this year's final press conference, and a review of the project is underway. The European Council and the European Parliament participating. We have done our work, we are carried the water, and it's now time for the European Council and certainly later on for the European Parliament to identify whether the Commission proposal is satisfactory, how it can be transformed into a piece of legislation or amended, ECB President Lagarde said in a statement. As officials stress that the systems are built and the safeguards defined, and attention has shifted to the political process required to authorize issuance of the digital ID. It's the mark. November CPI inflation unexpectedly fell 2.7% below expectations, 3.1. Core CPI inflation falls 2.6% below expectations of 3.0. Marks the biggest drop in U.S. inflation since March of 2025. Inflation was well below expectations in November. And this is absolutely insane. The inflation in the U.S. just unexpectedly posted one of the largest monthly declines since 2023. While a 10 basis point increase in inflation was expected, it actually fell by 40 basis points. Puts core CPI inflation in the U.S. at its lowest level. Gold futures officially surged above $4,400 an ounce, first time in history, now up a massive 67% in 2025. Gold is now on track for its best year since 1979. Or is it the dollar's worst year? We're seeing massive swings in markets right now. Between 11:55 a.m. and 12:25 p.m. Eastern, S&P 500 erased $450 billion in market cap. 23 minutes later, $320 billion in market cap added back. That's a $720 billion swing in market cap in under an hour. I'm sure everything's going to be fine because that's totally the sign of the healthy market. President Trump issues an executive order which closes the federal government Christmas Eve to December 26th. EU is innovating at an unprecedented rate. There are 62 technology companies in the U.S. reporting net annual profit above $1 billion, by far more than most other countries. This is over 4 times more than the world's second largest economy, China, which has 15 such tech firms. And the rush for gold. Central banks is unprecedented. Unofficial gold purchases by global central banks is up to 9,500 tons. That's since 2010. This is 3,700 tons or 64% more than officially reported purchases by these entities. Unofficial buying accelerated in 2022. And that, my friend, is, friends, plural, is your crisis report for December 18th, 2025. We appreciate you being here. We hope you'll check out our sponsor, which of course is Augusta Precious Metals. Maybe you'd like to listen to them and what they have to ask about your IRA or 401k. Other than that, friends, God bless you all, and we will see you on the next one. Have a great night.